9D1, I'd like to ask Deputy City Manager of Municipal Services and Public Works, David DeCoster, to join me at the podium, which he already has. Good evening, Dave.
Good evening again. Exciting one for you tonight. In front of you is a proposal from Frank Rewald & Sons to perform construction manager services at the Event Hub and Municipal Services Buildout. This proposal includes pre-construction support in the form of budgeting, quality control, scheduling, bidding assistance, as well as contractor selection. The city has worked with Frank Rewald in the past on multiple projects such as the building we're in, as well as our 45th District Court renovation. The lump sum not to exceed proposal for a total cost of $13,000 is funded in the general fund as well as the parks, it's in the Parks and Recreation Fund, and we're going to ask for an amendment as well. So it's recommended the City Council approve the professional services contract with Frank Rewald & Son for the not to exceed total of $13,000. It is further recommended that the city, that a budget amendment be approved to appropriate the amount related to the Event Hub in the Parks and Recreation Improvement Fund. Finally, it's recommended to allow the city manager to execute the contract on behalf of the city once approved by the city attorney.
So we need a motion to approve professional services contract for the Event Hub, budget amendment.
Second.
Any questions? So what, professional service, so what are they going to do for the Event Hub? They're going to draw up what explain what they're going to do.
So currently we have an architect on contract. We've approved that. That's Newman Smith. Frank Rewald is going to come in as our construction manager and work with the architect to hone in our budget to make sure we're not over budget. They're also going to provide technical assistance on building materials, building supplies, scheduling of the entire project. And then once we get to a design development status where we get plans out, they're also going to assist in the interviewing and selection of contractors for the project. So this is just the first step. Our intention would be to come back at a later date with a full CM contract.
Yes, City Manager Erik Tungate.
So Dave, one thing, I know Councilmember Edgar is going to want to know the answer to this, so I'm preemptively asking on her behalf.
Thank you.
Without her permission. So one of the things you just mentioned I think is very critical to the project, which is they're going to give us real-time cost estimates for the Event Hub project. Up until this point, we've been given estimates upon estimates upon estimates. So when do we expect to see those estimates come in?
So we are still in the early stages. We're going to be bringing in Frank Rewald actually this week to start that process. I would estimate that we will probably have a meeting, either a workshop or a special meeting with City Council within a month, probably 3 to 4 weeks out, to begin that first stage of that early budgeting process and the schematic design of the Event Hub.
And so we'll have a much better indication of the $5 million or so in money that we've raised through grants and other awards for the project. We'll have a much better indication after this is over of, is that going to be enough? Will we need more? And so forth. So I'm very much looking forward to it. It also tells me we're moving down the road in this project, and I think this is a very exciting project, very much more exciting than I think we realize at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you.
I agree.
Isn't Rewald, isn't that a construction company as well? So they could bid on the actual construction?
We would not allow them to do any of the construction work. They've done construction manager work for us before, and they did some specialty stuff before the project began with our geothermal wells here, but they have not done any the carpentry or anything like that for us, no.
Very exciting.
When will the bid go out? Do we know?
The construction bids?
Yes.
So we're still working on this. Like I said, we're in that schematic design phase, so depending on what finishes we go with, what building materials we go with, the city manager is pushing us to get a shovel in the ground this fall. That is our goal. Depending on what we can and can't do and what materials we can and cannot get, we may not be able to do that. We're pushing for that. I would think bids would go out mid to late summer.
Dave, one thing if you could too, I know I was talking to the mayor a little bit about this, but if you could just mention, we expect a more well-defined rendering of the Event Hub site, the site right next door to City Hall here, by April
Yeah, I would say that, again, that 3 to 4 week range.
Yeah.
The city manager has assembled a team, so we meet minimum every 2 weeks with our architect and now the construction manager. But I would say within the month, we should have that early stage site plan of what we're looking at, the layout, and some very early preliminary budgeting as well, before we really move into the full design.
And so one last thing, so before we collectively make a decision on aesthetic design, you know, the materials used on the facility, at the farmer's market over here, we will bring it forward to city council.
Correct.
And the public, of course, to weigh in before that decision is made.
I think the city has done a great job on involving the residents in helping to pick things, asking what your opinion is. This is exciting. It's going to be right next door on the grassy area between us and the library. And it's going to be a place that we can have our concerts. We don't have to pay $1,500 to Oakland County to rent a band shell. We'll have our own place with electricity and everything. There'll be a place for, if you've been to the Royal Oak Farmers Market, you know, kind of an inside place. There will be a smaller inside place here so that we can run the farmers market a little sooner and run it a little later than we had done, you know, because of the weather. Also, if you're having a wedding or some kind of fancy do, you might want to think about the event hub, look it over, because we're getting some fancy stuff in Oak Park. And my only word for you is faster.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me think, do we need a vote?
Councilmember Whitehead? Yes. Mayor Pro Tem Burns?
Yes.
Councilmember Edgar?
Yes.
Mayor McClellan?
Yes, motion carried, thank you.